and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jose Romero.
Greetings, salutations, nerds of the world. Couple weeks off. We're back. We got vacation. Life happens. We're here.
Listen,
We're excited.
there's pros and cons to life taking us away. Con, we haven't done this in a couple of weeks. We have so many things to talk about. Pros, we were so busy, we didn't watch Man Web. So there's pros and cons to everything. It's a win-win.
That probably is that's a pro there, to be perfectly honest with you. That's I know we left off. Well, I mean, I already gave my review a few weeks ago, right? And which was, despite not seeing the movie, was acutely spot on because nobody liked it.
To be fair, Jose, you were more accurate in your prediction powers than Man Web is. Technically, your mom was in the Amazon when she was bitten by a spider by scientists.
Because I said it all along, this movie is gonna be trash. I foresaw it. Terrible ending. No, but yeah, and it's funny because I know we did the Rotten Tomatoes price your luck, and you had 18%. I had a little bit higher, so you won. And it's sad enough, it's way below 18%. It was like 13%. I mean, awful. Oh my God.
Doesn't matter if it's a negative inch or a negative mile.
No, it doesn't matter.
A win is a win because of a loss.
I mean, 13%. Oh my God. And I think it's 2 weeks in, and it's got 74 million worldwide only. Oof. And I think projections looking at high 80s, 90 at best.
Listen, we were literally talking about this before we started recording, which is it is a special, horrible statistic to have in your life. When you performed worse than the movie that Sony released twice that bombed both times.
Yes.
And you still went, no, tank more.
That's
wow.
True. Morbius is looking better and better. This is going to end up doing worse than Blue Beetle and Shazam 2, which were both bombs, right? Big bombs. The only saving grace is only cost them $80 million. I'll say only, but it's not making its money back.
No, the movie, I heard the movie itself cost like $90 million, right?
I heard 80, but then the production budget probably 130.
Right, and then you got advertising.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Your big advertising.
It's a huge bomb. It's a mess.
It's a huge bomb.
This is what we said, right? We knew this movie was gonna suck. There's no big surprise. I don't think I'm even going to watch it for free. I just don't care anymore, to be honest.
I'll watch it for free. I will watch it for free.
I just heard
as
so much.
As soon as it hits streaming, I will watch it passionately. But
I'll reserve. Maybe I will put it on. But for right now, I'm saying no. That might change my mind.
And by the way, for anyone who's like, "Oh, you're just two dudes who hate female-led superheroes," look, everyone hates it. And to show you how much it's not true, I actually spent my weekend watching Everything Everywhere All at Once again. Because I was like, I want a good female-led sci-fi action movie. I'm getting the good. I'm getting the best one. Yeah. I'm not going to watch garbage.
Yeah,
the best one.
Yeah, anybody out there, which I'm sure there are, I've heard some stuff, but it's just nonsense. Let's be honest. I'd say the guys didn't like it because is women. No, guys didn't like it because the movie sucks. Right. It's at 13%. Not even the majority of the female critics like this to begin with. Nobody liked this crap.
I read somewhere that theater houses were actually seeing the refund tickets bounce high as the reviews came in. People just started demanding refunds and not wanting to go to the movie. Yeah. So they started in real time. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, and that sucked. And this is what we said. This doesn't bode well for us because, we had Craven, which... No hopes for that one.
What do you mean? It's the same exact movie. It's always someone gets a drip of blood in their body and they get a power, and then it's a thing.
It's at least
that's
if anything, the
Peruvian spiders, a lion. It's always a drop of blood, and boom.
It's ridiculous. I mean, God, and at least the writers. I mean, because again, we talk about the writers of Morbius wrote this one. How do they still get work? I don't understand. And I think they did like Dracula Untold, which is not good, and something else that I read. I forget the list, but it's just shit, right? I don't know how these guys get work.
I heard there was like one movie they did that was really good, and they just been like their go-to. Because what I hear is they don't complain and they just do the job. They just go, you know what? Yeah, here, done, no problem. Whatever you got next, boss, we're in it.
Yes, but we have properties of this potential, and this is all Sony has for the most part, right? In terms of popular IP, it's Spider-Man.
Right.
That's all they got.
But here's the thing: I don't understand why they keep trying to turn supporting characters and
Oh,
villains into
yes,
like
yes.
heroes or anti-heroes when they could have done a Spider-Woman movie. That like who cares about Madam Web? Do a Spider-Woman movie.
Well,
Do
exactly.
an
Yeah,
Araya
I mean,
movie.
and talk about a perfect time. This is the perfect time to do something like that. I mean, we're all gonna get the what's the one on Prime that we talked
The
about?
Spider-Man Noir.
No, no, there's a the female one. The
Oh no, Silk they canceled because the movie bombed.
did they cancel it for real?
They canceled it. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, well then
They canceled it, and they're double downing on getting Nicolas Cage to do Spider-Man Noir.
which is fine. That's no complaints there. But
Right,
I didn't know
but
that. Oh
they
god.
completely abandoned. And the lesson they took from this was, oh, nobody wants to watch female superheroes. That's the lesson they took. Not we completely crap the bed in a mismanaged
I mean,
idea to make a
it's a
Spider-Man movie.
combination of the two. I think to a certain
I
degree.
no, I disagree. When
Well,
you have a good
I
female-led
mean, you have a
character,
good one. It can work, but
right?
but what I was talking about last, I think last week we spoke about, when you do too many, you're not gonna get a new female audience to go watch these movies. It's just not gonna happen, right? Even the shitty ones, like Miss Marvel, the Marvels, it's bad, didn't do well, but the majority went to go see it was men. So
Right.
women aren't going out to see these films because it's women being displayed. They're not, right? So appeal to your demographic. On watching
Right.
football, they're not showing makeup commercials. They're showing beer and Doritos.
Right.
Cater to the audience is majority men, not all of them, obviously.
Here's the thing:
but majority.
if you're gonna do a female superhero movie, you do it in a way that most superhero movies are made. Do it like the Joker doesn't feel like a superhero movie, like cinematography wise.
Sure.
Like do something like that
Sure.
to make it stand out, and not in tone, but just this is a decidedly different tone. Don't try to imitate a Marvel or DC movie. Do something that's gonna stand
That's
out.
what I'm saying. I mean,
Pull that in.
yeah, make a good movie. Ultimately, make it. If it's great, people
Make
are
a
going to
good
watch
movie.
it. When guys, people will watch it if it's great. And they just are.
Yeah.
Guys will watch it. We've seen Wonder Woman do well. Even the first Captain Marvel did well. Obviously,
Yeah.
it can work, but you can't just do it for the sake of doing it, right? Wonder Woman will work because that was a major holy trinity of DC characters.
Right.
Was when people know that characters and no one knows Madam
And
Web.
they took that character seriously for what that character was.
Exactly.
They didn't try to make her something that she wasn't to try to make this. They sold like Wonder Woman is from Amazon. She's an Amazonian warrior princess. God, boom, that's her.
And it worked.
Madam Web is an old psychic lady that they reinvented as
that's what I'm saying.
Professor X that somehow also is kind of hot, but she's blind. So there's sort of I know the character's white, but she's also an old lady. You can't try to turn that into like a sexy Professor X. It's not a Charlie's Angel situation. You got to know.
And the other three main characters are all women. It's something they just try to force it in there for the sake of having women on there. That is disingenuous. It doesn't quite come off as well, and people will see that as negative. Whether it is or not.
But here's the thing: here's the crazy part. If they would have done a straight up movie where there was 3 female superheroes that Madam Web found and made them form into a team, and they had a big adventure. And in their sequel, she had to do the X-Men Days of Future Past thing, where she had to be in the past and save them early. That could have worked. But you needed a whole movie showing why they worked in the first place to make us care about them in the young.
Because they hear the other characters. You get a glimpse of them in their superhero mode down in the future.
Right.
And that's it.
And that's what people wanted to see.
Yeah,
if they would have done that movie,
they should have teenagers and they're not have no power. It just didn't make any sense. It's dumb. You do it maybe on a second movie, then introduce them.
But that's what I'm saying. If it was a sequel where you do like a Back to the Future Part 2, where you're seeing the things in the background, that could have been fun.
It's a disaster.
But you can't give us a low budget sequel to a version of a first movie you never made. Going, get it, Spider-Man? No, that's not how it works.
It just does. It's really bad. And here's the list of the movies these guys have written. So we got Morbius, Gods of Egypt, Power Rangers, The Last Witch Hunter. Oh my God. Let me see here. And Dracula Untold. Not good. The Massive Disguise. If you remember
wow.
And that's it. The only thing they did, which I enjoyed, was solid, was Lost in Space, the Netflix series.
That was a good series.
That was a good series. That was a good series.
Which is weird that you can have all these horrible car accidents and knock out a solid that's good.
That's called a fluke. Right, you gotta look at the whole body of work, right? They got one right, great, but the rest is. I don't know how they keep getting work. I don't understand that, and that's on Sony. They just that's not.
That's
investing what you need to make you're trying to build this universe. You gotta invest the money and get the right creative. It just
you can't do a cheap movie and assume it's gonna hold up the same. Oh look, and I'll take it back. Wait, I take it back. I take it back. Because this movie essentially had a little bit of like by $5 million. They had a $5 million budget higher than Deadpool, and Deadpool did a very smart. But once again, they did a movie that was about the character, not trying to make him into something he wasn't.
Right.
They made it about the character. If you make a movie that's legit, and this is what I'm trying to get to, I don't know why they keep trying to make villains into anti-heroes or side characters that never had any kind of draw into main draws when you have all these characters. Like, you have like 5 different Spider Women to pick from. You could have picked the characters like Donald Glover said that he was interested in doing Rocket Racer, which could be kind of fun in a speed racer kind of way. If they did like a version like that, that'd be kind of interesting to do. You could do a Spider-Man 2099. You could do, you could do a straight up.
They own Spider-Man. I mean, God,
do a Spider-Punk movie. How great would that have been?
Do Miles Morales.
You
already have it, and the built-in audience with the animated films. You can do a live action. That's it. People know who he is. He's a big time character. I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's not rocket science. You're right. The only one that worked was Venom, because that was an established, known villain or character, whatever you want to call it.
And he already made the transition to anti-hero, the lethal protector. Right. So it made there was a through line to like, this is how we get him to here.
Right. That worked. So that made a lot of money.
A little bit, but it made sense.
Yeah, but it was recognizable. People knew Venom.
Right.
You know, whether you're a casual fan, you've seen him in the other movies. He's a known commodity, right? We know who.
Right.
So that movie wasn't great, but it made a lot of money. So it showed people wanted to see that. I get that.
Yes.
I get it. Make the sequels. I get it. We should make him better.
And
whatever.
To be honest, they did put the money where it was important. The main actor and the effects to make all the symbiotes look cool.
And and they had Andy Serkis, who's a decent director. He's not, not great, but he's decent, and he's done stuff. So and say what you will about a Carnage, let there be Carnage, like the fact that how do you do a Carnage movie but make it PG-13? Whatever. We're not going to get into that. Visually, everything is really cool. Like, visually, you cannot take away from, like, when they're fighting, they have your 2 favorite action figures hitting each other, and it looked fun. Yeah, that's what saved that movie. Of course, I really wish that brings Spider-Man in. But whatever, that's either way. Listen,
and Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson did a lot of good work on that too.
Yeah, he's great. He can do anything he wants. I love Woody Harrelson. But listen, but it's not. It's not going to get better. Craven's going to suck, and I think. This is really going to hurt Craven's chances.
Oh yeah,
big time. They're like, oh, another one. Yeah, right. It is what it's a DC effect, and even now to some degree Marvel, it's just people just not going back because they're not going to get fooled. Fool me once, fool me twice.
And did you hear that there's a thing where the actors were saying they didn't realize they were doing Sony Marvel? They thought they were doing Marvel.
Well, that's on the actors.
That's on the representation. Like, the rep told them,
fair enough.
This is. Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah. Like, it's Marvel, baby. Yeah. You're gonna be gold. I tell you. Like,
Dakota Johnson was like, "Oh, we get to be in Marvel." Oh man, this is a huge mistake for her. And I won't blame the actors. What is what it is. I mean, they took the job and sure they got paid, and hey, what the hell? They all think everyone's on the belief
got
that
a down payment on a mansion.
Yeah,
let's be honest. Everyone got a down payment on a mansion.
They got paid, so why not? Whatever. But a disaster. And like I said, no surprise. But now we get that stink out of the way, right? This is called what it is. Let's talk about something that it's a complete opposite, and that's Dune 2.
Yes.
And I wish I didn't get to see the big screen. I was not out of the country, but I saw yesterday. And this, I think you and I were on the same page of the first Dune, where it was good. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you liked it, but you didn't think it was like worth the hype.
I didn't think it was world changing, but I thought.
Okay, correct.
And I'll tell you what, I've seen it 2 other times since then, and my appreciation of the world building gets higher each time. I still say Dune and Eternals suffered a problem where Eternals' third act was better than Dune's third act, because Dune's third act kind of like just when it feels like it's gonna get good, that's when it stops.
That was my biggest issue. I mean, there's some issues, but Dune didn't have a third act.
No, it didn't. That's the problem.
Right? And that's
Eternals had a third act, but their first 2 acts were all over the place. Dune's first 2 acts super tight. All the groundwork is laid for the world, and just when it gets really interesting, it just really stops. You're like, huh?
For me, it didn't stand on its own, and it wasn't terrible. I liked it, but
it's just not bad. Just a little bit of a disappointment at the end.
Yeah, and I think everyone's like, how great is an Oscar nominated? I didn't see that. I didn't get it. I didn't understand that. Whatever, to each their own. But good, not great. I will say that this one is a vastly superior movie.
Really?
Vastly superior. This movie is fantastic.
Ooh.
It really is.
Okay.
It really is. It's not, again, the hype is, oh my, I've heard, masterpiece 1,000 times, and I've seen things, the greatest movie they've seen in 10 years. Calm the fuck down. Let's relax.
We all know that's Endgame, so relax.
Right. It's like, it just bring it rooted in. But it is fantastic. I'm not going to say it's not, it's really good. It's
a really well done movie.
This is a great film. I can honestly say it's great.
Okay, great film.
It's great.
Okay.
It really is great. It'll be up there top 2-3 of the year. I anticipate that because this year is not great anyway. But as far as what we're getting, but nonetheless, yeah. Dude, listen, and I think it's long. It does kind of feel long, but it's anyway. It's over 2.5 hours. It's gonna feel long. It is what it is.
Is it 2.5?
Like 2:45, to be honest with you.
Was that with credits or just filming?
I think just without credits.
Wow.
Yeah, it's long. It's a little long in the first one. But the pacing, which is the issue with the first one, the first one is very heady. It's a dense material. The pacing so much. We get this action scenes throughout, right? So it's really good. Austin Butler playing I forgot the guy's name, the Baron's nephew or the cousin, whatever.
The one was Sting's character.
Yes, Sting. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, he's great.
Does he? Is he very as a gay sexual awakening as he was in the 80s?
No, not at all. It's a different version of that character. But he's definitely a little psychotic and a little nutty, but he's really good. And he's unrecognizable, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like he's great in Elvis, but yeah, he's like, wow, who is this guy? But it's incredibly well done. The action set piece is great, and it feels like a complete film. For the most part, it's still a part 2, so it doesn't stand alone in its own. It can't, obviously.
Right.
But has a Act 3. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
And it ends really well, and obviously it sets up whatever the next story is going to be.
Right.
Yeah, this movie is legit, dude. Absolutely legit. Yeah, a high recommended. And I'm glad. I was worried. When I heard all the hype, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Because sometimes things get overhyped. We know that.
Right.
We've seen them. People just kind of monkey see, monkey do. We see it all the time, and now one critic's this, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" I still don't think it's best movie in 10 years. It was a masterpiece. Right. I reserve masterpiece for very exclusive. People throw their word around like it's like any movie's masterpiece, and this is not.
But
true.
Like you said, it's gonna be top 5 of the year.
No, it will be top 2, top 3. I mean,
there
again,
done.
It's always movies, those small ones that sneak in every year, of course.
Sure.
But as far as we've seen the list of the big movies coming out, which is not a lot this year.
Right.
I mean, Ghostbusters is not going to be better on this. Kong, get out of here. Apes. Right. I heard Apes got a really, really bad recent test screening, by the way. Yeah, whatever that's worth. I don't even know what. I can't see what else is coming out. Deadpool. There we go. Probably the only thing that could be. But I don't think Deadpool will be as good as this in terms of just pure film.
Right.
Filmmaking.
But it'll be in the conversation.
Right. It might be more entertaining now, no doubt. But I don't think it'll be that. Right. We'll talk about Deadpool in a second. But yeah, no, this is legit, dude. You guys go see. Yeah, absolutely. If any reservations, check them at the door. This is really good. Great. Fantastic.
Based on this, just to let you know, I this past weekend I was in Miami and I showed my parents. I put this movie on for my parents, and my mom and dad are like, "This is really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, you see, it's better than I expected it to be." And so, because my mom liked it so much, she liked it a lot. Her birthday is March 1st, which is the opening day. So I'm buying her tickets for her and my dad to go see Dune as a little birthday present from their baby boy.
If you like that one, yeah, they're gonna like really like this one. I just can't see someone not liking this one. They might not think it's a masterpiece. I don't think so. But I'm saying great. I'm saying fantastic. That's high praise. I don't say it very often.
Yeah, no, you are very stingy with your compliments.
I really am. It's like I reserved for this movie that this one deserved it. It really did. It's really good. I was surprised. It's funny because I brought a couple of guy friends with me, and it was a guy. He didn't hate the first. He wasn't a big fan of the first one, but he loved this one. And then this other guy who loved the first one, he's watching it, and we turn over, and we only I think we saw it in IMAX, so the audio is like tuned up to like a 12 out of 10.
Right.
And we look over like maybe about a third of the way in. We look over, and he's leaning down like this. He's falling. He fell asleep. And we're like, first of all, you fall asleep fine. I get it, but it was so fucking loud. Like we tried whispering to each other sometimes in movies, and we couldn't hear each other. It was like so loud, the music, and in a good way. It's like, how do you sleep with the noise? Forget then when you think noise boring, whatever, fine. But I don't get stand blaring now. It's boom, bombs blasting. I don't get it. I don't know how you sleep with that.
To be fair, your friend was doing heroin, so it's only a matter of time.
Maybe, I guess. And it's funny, he did the old at the end, because if he does that both times, and at the end he's like,
he saw the movie, he's like, that guy's riding the worm, I'm riding this dragon. Yeah,
it's fun. It's funny, like, we made fun. It's like, dude, you have to say, no, it was awesome. I only fell asleep for like, I saw like 90% of the movie. Like, okay, dude, yeah, whatever, dude. That's my old dad. He's watching TV, he's falling off, and we turn the TV off. No, I'm still watching that, with the eyes closed. Either way. So yeah, definitely go watch it. You're gonna like. I'm curious to get your thoughts next week. I'm sure you're gonna watch it this weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I figured you would. But that being said, let's move on to some Marvel stuff. So it's all Marvel for the rest of the show, and this bit of news is gonna surprise absolutely nobody, and it shouldn't. And this was reported, I think, Variety. The big trades had this Variety or Hollywood Reporter. Sure. I don't know, one or the other. So apparently the rewrites are ongoing for the next Avengers films, and it looks like all signs are. It's almost official. It's virtually official that Kang it will not be involved in this
at all,
or at best very minimal, very minimal. It ain't gonna be Jonathan Majors. Sure. So if you can't do Majors, what's the point doing Kang? All right, I guess.
Right.
So we knew that they changed the title, or they're not naming it the Kang Dynasty. They haven't given a new title yet. But yeah, dude, we knew this was coming, dude.
What if the way they rewrite Kang is they cast a completely different ethnicity actor, like Hispanic or Asian, and when MSC goes, I don't want to be racist, but weren't you black? The timelines have changed.
You could, I mean, I guess you can put him a woman and say, you can use his pronouns before he says his name. That could have worked these days. I don't know.
I see what you're going for.
But yeah, so no surprise there. It's just, we knew he wasn't gonna be in the movie. They're gonna write him off. So,
but I am bummed out because I think Kang. It's disappointing to know that I've seen Kang work better in cartoons, and you can't nail it in a movie when it's already there for you. It's all set up.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised once you take a step back. The last couple of phases, really. It's okay, right. So
I will say this: if you're still a Kang fan, you're like, I wish they did Kang well. Just watch Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes, a cartoon. He's in it for season 1 and season 2. Excellent use of Kang. Really, really nailed the Kang use. If you need good Kang, there's there. Or if you want to get real crazy, watch season 4 of the X-Men from 1995, 96. The end character for season 4 is revealed to be Immortus, which is a Kang variant. So you get a little bit of Kang at the end, along with the cool X-Men stuff. So, and it's a good primer from other stuff we're going to talk about.
Yeah, you get your fix on there. And I'm kind of curious if this is legit, which it sounds like it is. Once a major trade reports it, it's pretty much legit, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. So I'm kind of curious where they go. What I have some ideas when we talk a couple of topics down the road, but we can bring them up. But that being said, stay with the positive again. X-Men, since you brought them up, 97 new animated series. We got the trailer recently. I've heard some really weird. I'll get to that. So people complain about the stupid. These people just complain just to complain.
Oh, the morph thing. The morph thing complaint.
No,
the
more
morph
Rogue. Really, I've heard the morph thing. The morph thing I have heard too, but not as much as I've heard the Rogue thing. It's funny, but some people are doing it a little more serious than it needs to be. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess you're joking around. Yeah, listen, they kind of like, I don't know, defeminize her to a certain degree in terms of her assets in comparison with the old cartoons.
Listen, the 90s was a wild time. You had all the cheesecake photos. Yeah. And here's what I say about this. Growing up in Miami, now living in Georgia, Southern girls, pack it where it's racking. And so she's from Louisiana. You figure, that it was a staple of the drawings. It was a staple of the cartoon series. But here's the thing: I will say, original cartoon series, there were some scenes that Rogue was packing, and there were other scenes where Rogue was not. And all we've seen is a trailer, so we don't know what it's gonna look like anytime. It's all new.
It's true. True, but it's silly. People, some people brought up in jest. I thought it was funny, but somebody,
of course,
but there are legitimate people griping, which is it's just come on, whatever.
All I'm saying is, and I don't mean this in a homosexual way. Not that there's anything wrong with homosexuals, but as a Brazilian, if they don't give Sunspot a big Brazilian butt because he's a Brazilian butt dude. Like he's gotta have like Nightwing butt cheeks.
There are traits in particular to certain races and groups. It's facts. You know, we can
Brazilian butts are known. We're known.
Yeah,
I don't want to brag about me, but
agreed.
Let's say me and Sunspot, we should be like, yo, I see you, son. Like it should be one of those things. You know?
I totally agry. I mean, I say it's some of the stereotypes are there for a reason, right?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing
wrong. I'm pro that stereotype.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm letting you know. I want that.
Some stereotypes are good. But anyway, so we got that first trailer and all that. I mean, it looked like, you know, it felt like old. You know, well, not old. Well, it is old. I keep forgetting how long ago this was. You know, good vintage X-Men cartoon, which I love that series, right?
I will say Wolverine sounded a little off, like a pitch off.
He did.
Like a pitch.
They got a new voice actor, obviously.
No, it's the same actor.
Is it the same guy?
Same guy. Oh, that's why he sounded a little off.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's just because he's older. It's like when you hear like an old rock star trying to sing the notes and he's like, he can't hit it at that level anymore. It's just age. Yeah, I get it.
I'm talking to you, Steve Perry. But yeah, no, I love Steve Perry, but come on. No, but yeah, he sounded off. I know Jubilee actually got a different actress from what I heard.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I don't know about anyone else. I have no idea. But it looked cool.
By the way, how did you feel about the Gambit Wolverine mutant circuit?
Oh, that looked pretty cool.
That looked pretty cool. But here's the thing. Cool. And once again, as a major nerd, here's my question. Gambit's power is to touch an item, an inorganic item, and he could charge it with the maximum amount of potential kinetic energy that item can have. So when it makes impact, it explodes. If he charges Wolverine's adamantium claws, is it trying to imply that what it hits explodes, or will Wolverine explode when it hits? That's the question.
That's a good question. And really, is his whole skeleton charged?
Right. That's
not just the claws. Yeah, that could be.
Is it a kamikaze mission? Is it going to be just the adamantium skeleton and a few strands of flesh? He's like, give me a second, Bob. And he just heals over.
It takes about two episodes to get back to where he was.
It's like a Dragon Ball Z. It takes about 2 episodes for something to happen.
Yeah, you're right about that. That was a cool.
It looks cool. It looks so cool.
Visually looked kind of cool. I was like, okay, that's pretty dope.
But my nerd brain was like, oh, so what happens when they make contact? Because this could get messy.
It's going to get really messy. And Gambit shouldn't be riding him at that point. He should jump off just in case. He's collateral damage at that point. But it looked cool, man. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it looked cool. I mean, if it's gonna be good, I don't know. I mean, this is written and done in the, we're gonna say, the bad Marvel time. So I don't know. I mean, right? Let's be honest. So I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna get.
Listen, I all I'm saying is this: because it's animated, I have more hope for it, because as inconsistent as the live action stuff, their cartoons have been pretty solid.
That's fair. No, I'm fine with it. That's okay. Yeah, and I mean, at least they had the roadmap already. I mean, I don't know if they brought in some of the same people involved in the first one. I doubt it, but I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know.
I think like half the original cast is back, and the other half are people doing versions of those
writers voices. And I don't know if the writers are the same or showrunners.
I think the producers, the executive producers, are the same. So
not quite the same, but I don't. Like I said, I'm not sure. So, but whatever. Listen, comes out this summer. No?
Yeah. March 20th, my friend.
Oh, March 20th. I'm sorry, March 20th. Oh,
March 20th.
Even better. Even better. Okay, well, there you go.
Super excited.
Something to look forward to, because I got dust off Disney Plus and the control. I haven't pressed that button in a while. But ever since Percy Jackson ended, I'm like, no reason to watch.
Well, you know, this Bad Batch. I know we're not talking about it.
Oh my God,
Bad Batch.
Have you seen it? Out of curiosity, just off
topic. I saw the first episode, and it was fun. It was actually some of the best Bad Batch I've seen out of all 3 seasons.
That's not a high bar.
No, not at all. It's not a high bar at all.
So whatever. I didn't say exactly. Like I said, I'm off the show. I can't. I really didn't want to go back to it. I mean, if someone tells me, if you say, "Oh my God, it's amazing," okay, fine. But I didn't have the strength. I just didn't have the strength.
I got it. No, I understand.
Like, is that and Madam Web about the fight for my time? Madam Web drops. I'm not sure which one I'll watch. I really don't. But that wasn't the only trailer that came out, X-Men. I know this one came out a little bit ago, but we hadn't talked about it. Super Bowl, we talked about Super Bowl dropping this trailer, and it did, as we had suspected, and that's Deadpool 3. Of course,
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine, that's the official title, of course. That dropped, highly anticipated. We're all wondering what we're going to get here. And I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the trailer? What stood out?
There's nothing I'm going to say that hasn't already been said a billion times by everybody else. Looks fantastic. There's a lot of great references. There's there's one of the things that I saw that I was really excited because I thought we were gonna get a chance to record, but I was mistaken because we were on vacation. I was like, oh man, you're right.
Yeah.
Is when you saw Pyro's costume was from the Ultimate X-Men, not the Fox movie universe costumes. Okay. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But then everyone started doing it. I was like, well, there goes that like little smidge I could have brought to the table. And of course, everyone's already talked about how Secret Wars #5 from Jonathan Hickman was on the floor, and that has a Doom cover that talks about how Doom harnesses the power of the Beyonders. So they're saying as a villain, maybe the Beyonders will be the option that people connect to, like the big bads overall with the Beyonders, which Beyonders are connected to both versions of Secret Wars, both the Jonathan Hickman and the Jim Starlin one. So there's a lot of what is there. All I know at the end of the day is I'm super excited. I like the fact that it's violent in a Marvel, full use of all the Marvelness. I like how there's illusions that there might be a Goliath there. I like there's illusions of Wolverine patch, which is Wolverine in the white suit. I know there's people saying that might not be Hugh Jackman. That might be another Wolverine that they're doing. I don't know. I would love it if they use this movie as a way to announce the first reign of casting. And I'll give you an example why. There's another Marvel property that they just announced the casting to over Valentine's Day. We'll get to that in a second. But in a recent interview, one of the cast members said that they found out that they were going to be in this movie the 2 weeks before the actors strike. So they nailed in this casting. So they sat on it for about a month and then made the announcement. So if they're sitting on this, then they might be sitting on a potential pre-Wolverine casting as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we get to see something like that, because that would then add more more importance. Like, we're not just introducing these guys, but we're also setting up the building blocks of what we're going to do after Secret Wars, and that makes it exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting because they didn't really show a villain, I guess, per se.
No villain yet. Villain. So,
even though rumors are, it's a first trailer, right? There's rumors, but whatever. I mean, everyone's in this movie, but we know that.
Well, there is a bit of rumor. If you remember the trailer of a villain, there is a scene where you see a bald head looking up. Oh, you're right. Yes. And they're saying that villain is Cassandra Nova, which is a alien spiritual parasite evil mirror version of Professor X. Her name is Cassandra Nova. Well, he killed in the womb because he sensed that she was pure evil, could not let her be born. Great origin story. I love it already. And one thing I did notice that no one's talked about is that Cassandra Nova, from the shot back, it's her bald head, and she's wearing a big collared trench coat that makes her look a little bit, if you know this, like Grant Morrison, the writer who created her. He's also, Grant Morrison also created another book called The Invisibles, which he actually sued the Wachowski brothers for. He lost, unfortunately, but he sued the Wachowski brothers because he said the Invisibles was essentially what the Matrix was based on.
Okay.
And he looks like one of the characters. He's very techno, edgy, dark. That's what he looked like. So the fact that they gave her the big pop collar, I go, oh, it's Cassandra Nova, and I think she's dressed like Grant Morrison. And no one's called it. I'm calling it right now that she's going to be very homage to Grant Morrison, because if anyone would know that, it would be the guys who did Deadpool. Like, how do you deep cut a deep cut? If you're already putting Pyro in an Ultimate X-Men costume, you're going to make Cassandra Nova look like Grant Morrison. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's interesting because I forgot they had shown that quick snippet of the back of the head and all that. Look, the only thing I was like curious about was they didn't show Wolverine per se, right?
Right.
Which is surprising.
You see a little bit of yellow, and you see the back shot of a Wolverine, right, and that's
like, wow. I mean, I get it. This was like a Spider-Man situation where they altered the trailers, so you couldn't see, the other.
Right.
I get that, but the movie's called Wolverine Deadpool. There's no secret here.
And the first photo they released was Deadpool Wolverine walking towards camera. That was officially released by Ryan Reynolds. Why do that tease? But you know what? At the same time, I'm kind of glad they did it.
I mean, I only say it's cool they didn't, but I'm saying, listen, they're in a position where this movie needs to make money. It's the only thing they got this year. And I'm looking just from a business sense, and even just a quick facial shot of him, and then people were like, oh my god, and it's just a Super Bowl, right? This is this is the time to put your best foot forward. I'm surprised that they didn't show him at all. I'm shocked because you're gonna give fans in seats. The casual fan throw out Hugh Jackman.
Well,
right?
here's
not
here's
to say they're not gonna do it in the next trailer, which I'm sure they will, and they should.
I think
they should
because normies, the civilians out there who aren't immersed in all this, there's a lot. Like for example, a lot of people think that Madam Web, normal people think that Madam Web is connected to the Marvel universe. They're like, oh, another Marvel bomb. It's like, actually, no, there wasn't a Marvel bomb.
But I get it, yeah.
But so I think a lot of people don't even know that Hugh Jackman is back in it. They're seeing this, they're going, is it going to be that same guy? They didn't even know Hugh Jackman's name. Is it going to be the same guy from the old movies? That's how they're thinking. So when they show that in the round 2 trailer, that's going to be the and it's going to get people.
I think a quick shot of him like walking. I thought would have just been. That's all you needed. I'm not saying put him in talking.
But now you're officially building anticipation for the second trailer.
Oh,
I mean, if you're already building hype on the first trailer, now you give it a reason for people to be invested for the second one. After the second one, cat's out of the bag.
I mean, it's not out of the bag. It's been out of. But yeah, I just found curious.
It's been out of the bag for people like you and me, not the other 80%.
I get it. I like that they don't show a lot in trailers. I'm just. I mean, this was a secret that, like the Spider-Man thing. I had known for over a year that we knew that. And I get it. I say, you know what?
Right.
Don't show them in the trailer. I get that.
Right.
Because no one knew. Well, people knew, suspect, whatever. It's in the title. Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not a mystery. I mean, whatever. And just like I said, it's not a complaint. It's just fun to curious. That's all. But listen, the trailer great. It was cool. Okay. I mean, to see the next trailer and hopefully. It doesn't mean this movie's going to be great. This movie could still suck. Let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
It still can. He's Marvel Jesus in the trailer. He could be Marvel crap at the end. I don't know.
Listen, we've been hurt by trailers before.
Right, exactly. To be fair.
We all thought maybe this Madam Web movie is going to be kind of cool.
I don't know if that trailer actually gave us that kind of hope, but...
There was a lot of people who were like,
fair enough.
You know what? This looks kind of fun. Even I thought, I was like, those costumes are pretty surprisingly good. I wonder how they're going to look like on camera. Then you saw the movie, like, you lied to me.
We see it all the time. So
you hurt me again.
But the confidence level is high, just based off the trailer, right?
Absolutely.
You want to judge what we're given at this point.
By the way, kudos to Marvel once again knowing how to maximize a dollar when you put a 30-second trailer on the Super Bowl and make everyone, good for you. Good for you.
To YouTube. I think we saw a lot of trailers drop. Well, not a lot, but a few. But this is the only one that really mattered for the most part. And then last thing, this thing we alluded to before, and that's Fantastic Four, which got an interesting announcement on an odd day for it, but it was kind of cool at the same time. But it really came out of nowhere. Like, talk about left field, right? Like, they just like, oh, here it is. Whoa. Okay.
Who thought
interesting
when you're expecting VD, you get FF? Look at that. That's really,
so you didn't see Madam Web. This kind of cheered you up. I mean, this could have been a good, like, Madam Web's going to taint it. Let's throw something out there to kind of counterbalance the negativity.
You know what? A lot of people said that. You got X-Men, Deadpool, and Fantastic Four all the same month, all to combat the Madam Web.
Exactly.
As far as
if
you're doing marketing, you drowned out the negative by 3 positives.
It's a smart move, no doubt about it. But again, it's just odd because like I don't think none of us expected like oh shit, okay, so they dropped it, and they didn't even make an announcement. They just dropped the poster I have on screen here, and with a very 60s aesthetic to it, and all Fantastic Four, and we obviously see which we knew Pascal, of course, and which is go her Mission Impossible. I'm forgetting her name.
Kirby,
thank you. And then we got Joseph Quinn, right?
Joseph Quinn.
Who is he? Quinn is
Human Torch,
who we saw in these Eddie and Stranger Things 3.
And Stranger Things
4. So which is cool. And then the other guy, I forget, he's from The Bear, of course.
Elam is saying Basrak.
Is that his name? I don't even know the name, but
I may have butchered his name. But I know everyone says The Bear. I'm an OG fan. Punisher season 1. Microchip for life. Don't forget it.
Enough.
He killed it in that season.
Good. Fair enough. But yeah, he'll be playing the thing. So they finally made the announcement. I don't think there's any huge surprises here. Kirby and Pascal were pretty much known in terms of and the other guys have been rumored for a little bit. But interesting. But I like this. But this poster reveals a lot. Now we're getting an idea of what maybe it could be about. So you see this 60s aesthetic kind of vibe going on in the poster. So are we to assume that this takes place? In the time period of the 60s, perhaps?
There's been rumors of the Fantastic Four happening in the 60s since like phase 1.
True.
When Peyton Reed was talking about, he pitched the 60s. He said he wanted to do Fantastic Four like A Hard Day's Night from the Beatles.
Correct. Yes.
That's been around forever. But then you guys start going like, so is it an alternate universe? Is it like the 838 Fantastic Four? Like, what are we talking about here? And I think I'm not the person to think about this theory, but I believe that I was one of the first one to think about it. We just I didn't talk about it until today. But I really think what's going to happen, the way they're going to work around it, is that Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal, is going to inadvertently discover the multiverse, and he's going to try to do a multiverse travel, not time travel, but teleportation. And by doing this teleportation, he's going to accidentally end up back in the 60s. But remember, by the time travel logistics of the TVA and Endgame, that if you change something in the past, you create a branch timeline. So they will end up in a world where they're the world's first superheroes because the teleportation gave them these powers, and they're going to encounter their version of Galactus. I'm thinking, because there's a rumor that Adrian Bourdain is going to be Galactus. I think originally they said the rumor was
Javier Bardem.
It was
Javier
Bardem. Sorry, Javier Bardem. Yeah, just sorry. That's it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Bourdain, isn't that this? No, he's not. Very rest in peace.
Yeah. Because it was supposed to be the dude who plays Puss in Boots.
Banderas.
But Antonio Banderas. But apparently they're going to Javier now, which is cool too. Which I think is a little weird, where when you have an all-white superhero, the most dangerous thing they can encounter is a giant Hispanic.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to cross the border of Earth. I mean, come on,
the
guys.
multiverse
it's a little too on the nose. No.
Yeah. He's taking all our jobs.
Can we not get political in these movies, man? No.
It's really unfair, I think. But you know what? I would like to see it. But then maybe that's the thing where they can maybe do a thing where Galactus isn't just eating planets. Maybe he's eating realities. And so they finally escape back to our timeline, keeping the powers they're stuck with. And they're like, we have a big threat. And maybe the Galactus threat can lead into why multiverses are collapsing, because let's say whenever a reality is in an incursion, the one that's breaking apart, he consumes that. And that could be kind of like a thing where they hit their own incursion and Galactus is coming, so they realize they can't really stop him, so they have to escape back. So it'd be kind of cool in their first movie, it's actually a loss. That'd be kind of interesting, where they save a world, but then Galactus eats the other, and that's it. But they're like, it's only a matter of time before we save, like, maybe, that's how it is. While the two realities are collapsing, they save the one they landed on, but knowing the other one gets consumed by Galactus. And they're like, we saved this reality, but how many other realities are going to get lost because of the incursions? We got to go back, and we have to try to figure out what's going on. And that's where they come back to the current timeline, and now they have powers. And maybe they team up at the end. They meet up with Ant-Man. He's like, I think I know something. Or Doctor Strange goes, I think I know something about these incursions. And you get to kind of start to pull the pieces in together. That, to me, is what the way would make the most amount of sense if you wanted to tie them to multiverses while still keeping a sense of exploration. So,
you don't think that, as far as because we heard this before, rumors about the quantum verse, and they entered it, not so they get into that timeline or whatever. Or is that?
I think that's it's going to be something else, because the multiverse thing was very specific to the pin particle backdoor, and Reed Richards has always been about creating another way. Like, if this is what exists, is there another way? Science is about exploring. We can't. Maybe in his mind is like, we can't depend on pin particles, so we should think of another way. And this other way he thinks works, but it affects their genetic makeup, which is why they get these powers. So it doesn't work in a sense. So he figures out a way back, not to further damage their cellular structure. So when they come back, they're stuck with those powers.
Yeah, because it makes sense.
But now,
because you're right. A time travel, or it has to be a multiverse thing, because it's assumed it's the regular timeline. It's assumed regular timeline, right? Whatever. And this is the 60s before anything in MCU, and our current timeline in MCU. We wouldn't have seen heroes before, right? That's not new. So
right. Absolutely.
I need to have something.
So they get all their superhero experience in the alternate timeline they end up in. And so when they come back, they're already a well-oiled machine. They're not a team that's got to learn how to be a team. They already know how to be a team. They've been doing it for years.
It'd be surprising. I don't think they go this route. I'm just whatever. Again, we don't know when it's written, whatever. That it is the 60s and are in the timeline of the MCU. That'd be odd.
That would be a full shot.
That'd be very odd.
Really went there?
That wouldn't make complete sense unless they.
No.
I'm worried. I hope that's not the case, but we don't know, right? It's just a poster.
Right. No.
But at some point, they're in the 60s. Either it starts there, it goes to whatever. I don't know. I get the 60s thing because they were created in the 60s, right? Am I wrong in that?
They were the first superhero team the Marvel created. It was in 1963, I think it was.
It makes sense, something like an homage to that. But I hope it's not a one-off. I don't think it is. That'd be kind of stupid if it is.
No, they're signing it for a trilogy. There's no way it's a one-off.
Let me put it this way, like an elsewhere kind of thing. That this is, it's just
right.
an MCU
well, I mean, look,
thing, right? Yeah.
Here's the thing you got to remember: in both Secret Wars, Reed Richards is part of the team that figures out or saves the universe straight up. So he needs to be there, because just like everyone says, oh, Doom always ends up being the big bad in all the Secret Wars. You're actually right. And if you make Doom the big bad, you're gonna need Reed Richards to stop him. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and we don't know if it's gonna be. I assume Doom's gonna be in this. If he's not, I'm shocked.
I think they'll show you Victor Doom, and then at the very end, by the time they're gone, when they come back, where's Victor? Victor is now Doctor Doom.
But he has to be a prominent role, like as Doctor Doom in the movie, right?
Well, I think he's Doctor Doom in the end credit scene.
That'd be odd. I don't know when this Avengers coming out. I don't know what they changed in their timeline release. I don't know. Based off the dates we got before, it's weird. Again, it goes back to them. Okay, we don't have an established villain, and then we're gonna get a first taste of him in the Avengers film. I'd rather see a build up. I don't know how it's gonna work.
I think I think he's going to first appear in the Fantastic Four, and he'll start to make small cap, almost like Thanos.
I mean, it depends what movies are coming out. This was originally 2026, now it's 27. I don't know what's coming out 2026 because they kind of reshuffled everything. I don't think Blade's be part of it whenever that gets released. I don't think Thunderbolts be part of it.
I think you'll probably see Doom. Honestly, you'll probably see Victor Doom. If not by the Fantastic Four movie, you'll see him in the Captain America movie, and then the Fantastic Four movie. And
that
then
would make more sense if they do something.
Maybe
like
the next Doctor Strange movie, you'll see him again. Anytime you'll see him look like a good guy at first, and then slowly reveal more and more of his bigger shenanigans.
Behind the scenes. No, I get it. But there haven't been any huge announcements in terms of what's being released in 2026. So I don't know. We know we're getting, because I know they switched the dates because this one comes out in July next year. Thunderbolts was July, now it pushed up to March of next year, and then we got then we got Captain America, some of that. I forget again, which is odd, and potentially Blade. I still think 3 movies is too much. It goes back to what you and I talked about. Can we just make 1 or 2 a year? We're getting it.
Well, I think they said 3 is going to be their max per year.
It should be 2. I mean, it's just personal choice.
No, you're right. Ideally, it should be 2, but because they're making up for time, I think that's why we get 1 movie this year. You get 3 movies next year, and then the year after that, just 2. And I think that's a smart way to do it.
Oh, right, exactly. So I'm hoping this is not to continue the same trend. So it is what it is.
Right.
I mean, and again, look, Deadpool notwithstanding, even Deadpool's great. Deadpool's not saving the MCU by itself. It's not. Deadpool is great. That's good. They need to follow up with consistency. You just can't have 1 great film, the rest are garbage. That doesn't work.
Deadpool helps you win the battle, not the war.
Exactly. I think Captain America, Thunderbolts helps you win the war. Because those aren't good, then we're back to square one. Right, here we go. Absolutely. Inconsistency and not. I don't want to see. So let's see. And there's obviously Fantastic Four is a big thing for him. That one needs to hit, obviously. But yeah, I'm trying to find. I can't find a list of what's coming. I mean, whatever. I don't think Blaze this year. I don't care what the fuck they say. It's not coming out this year. It's just not. That's 4 movies. That's too many as it is.
Too many.
That's too many. It was push Blade back. No, it's fine. No one's gonna get upset about that. Like I said, it's not coming anyway. I'm trying to find the list. Oh, July. It still says Blade. Remember? Yeah. Good luck with that. And it still has Avengers on the May 1st, 2026.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't know. I don't think that's right. And then the second one, Secret Wars, is 2027. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that got to move that one. It can't be. I don't know.
I think you might have to do it 27, 28.
That's what I'm thinking. Push it out.
Yeah.
Push it out.
Yeah, 27, 28.
Because we got Fantastic Four, then Blade, and then Avengers. And no way. That doesn't work. No. It doesn't work. No. You give us Doctor Strange again, Shang-Chi, bring him back. 8 years to see the damn movie. Yeah, so it's weird. I think one of his D23 or Comic-Con or whatever. I don't know if they're going to be a Comic-Con. But D23, they should at least announce.
Here's a question.
Slate of films.
Do we get any kind of teaser trailer for D23 or San Diego?
For the Marvel stuff, I think we're gonna get Captain.
Well, Fantastic Four specifically.
No, I mean I think
No?
they start shooting sometime in the spring, late spring. So it depends when they start shooting. They're shooting like in July, like in June, July. I seriously doubt we're gonna get anything because it's not enough time. It's just not.
Right.
Well, I think what we're gonna get, if anything, is not gonna get Thunderbolts because Thunderbolts actually start shooting first, and that's like in March, March or April. Maybe get something. I think the only thing we're gonna get really is Captain America.
Would we get a cast photo?
Oh, we'll get that before that.
I'm just saying, you know, I mean, if you can't do a trailer,
we might get down, maybe like unless they announce it before, like Doom, or if he's in there, who's all the characters, whatever. And didn't we hear Anna Taylor-Joy supposed to be in this movie, right? Didn't we hear that?
I heard there's a rumor that they might be doing a Silver Surfer special presentation still, like they're bringing that idea back. And if that's the case, they're doing a male Silver Surfer, so there may not be an Anya Taylor-Joy, but she was supposed to be Silver Surfer.
I thought she was cast. Maybe she was rumored. I don't remember now.
It was a rumor.
Okay.
It was a rumor.
So I wasn't quite sure. Right. She wasn't Dune 2, surprisingly. No, not completely.
Yeah.
Very small role, but I think she's prominent in the next movie. But either way, neither here nor there. But let's see, because I think if they say that Doom's not in this, that's curious.
Yeah.
If Galactus not in this,
but you gotta have Doom.
You gotta have one or the other.
He doesn't.
I think you have to have Galactus.
Put him in Act 1, and then he shows up in a post-credit scene in 3.
If they give us Galactus, then give us Victor, just the character itself, not Doctor Doom.
That's what I'm saying. Just fine. Victor.
If Galactus is in it, if there's no Galactus, you have to have. You gotta have one or the other. I don't see how you make a movie without either one. If there's no Silver Surfer, it's not enough, right? I mean, he's tied to Galactus, technically speaking, right? Or no?
Well, I mean, Silver Surfer is tied to Galactus. Yeah, he's Galactus' herald.
Right.
But I was like, the only other villain that you can do, and it connects to the quantum realm, which is the negative zone, is you could do Annihilus. Okay. But I don't know if you're gonna get Javier Bardem to do Annihilus.
No.
Because Annihilus is like a robot insect man, and no face.
He uses his voice for Galactus, and it's just fine. So let's see. I'm kind of curious. That's the announcement I'm waiting for, really. I just who is the villain, because I think that's going to tell a lot as far as the direction of the MCU, like where we're going to go with this. So because I can't see the big baddie not being introduced in this movie. I can't. He's not going to do it in Thunderbolts. I doubt that, and it's not going to be Captain America. It has to be Fantastic Four. It has to. I don't know what else is. I mean, if it's not them, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. It ain't Blade.
I mean, listen. If you do Victor Von Doom in Thunderbolts, he could be helping the U.S. get to Tiamat to get the adamantium, which is so he's a foreign agent, and by supplying this access, they're going to help him overthrow Latveria. We don't
need Doom in Thunderbolt. We need Victor. If we do that, that's fine. It just has Victor, right? Don't put Doom in that. Don't squeeze Doom in. That doesn't work. You introduce him there, no problem. He's back here in Fantastic Four. I mean, that works, and maybe end credit he's Doom. I don't know, whatever. But I'm sure that's the key. That's the key to this whole thing. It's Fantastic Four. That's so I'm kind of curious if that's in there. But that being said, I mean, as I said, big week, a lot of stuff gonna be dropping soon. Things are going in production. We got Superman stuff. That's gonna get dropped sooner than later. Obviously, they started filming that, so we'll get into that later. That's a Comic-Con trailer right there, I think.
Yeah.
Or Scissorio or something, whatever you want to call it.
Like, it may not be released to the internet, but if you're there, you get to see it.
Probably, amazing footage or something. Right, something's gonna drop. I don't see how they wouldn't start that hype train around that time. It just makes sense. Like, quick teaser. Look at the Scissorvilla trailers before. We've seen those, and those are kind of cool. Behind the scenes and him in the suit. We're gonna get him in the suit pretty soon. That picture's gonna leave. They're gonna let it out.
And it's gotta sing. It's gotta sing. When you come in, you're gonna be like, that's it.
That's gonna be a huge point of contention. Like, how's the suit? How's he looking?
It's gotta make you feel the way you felt when you first saw Man of Steel.
That suit,
and Henry Cavill came out, and you're like,
that's badass. Cool. I don't care what you say with them. Like it, don't
awesome.
Like whatever. That suit was dope. It really was. And he looked good in this suit. Like, that's fucking Superman. So that's what we're gonna get that soon. And the only thing else is maybe Peacemaker, which comes out of Mortal Kombat, the character in 2 days. And it has the intro of him dancing. It's kind of funny. From the greatest intro song in TV history, as far as I'm concerned. We all agree on that. Come on, guys. But that being said, those are the nuggets for today.
Guys, that has been the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the love and support you guys are giving us. Don't forget to always check out here on YouTube at the Latin Nerd Network, where you can watch shows like Nerdsplaining, like the Watch List, like the Anderson Choice, and more shows coming along as well. Don't forget, if you want to follow us on social media, you can go to at Nerdsplaining _ on X Twitter, at Nerdsplaining Pod on Instagram. You can also check us out at all the original audio episodes on ericdasilva.com, EricDasilva. While you're there, don't forget to pick up my album, Adorably Offensive. I will be getting some more dates for road stuff coming up soon. I'll be sure to get you guys updated. Don't forget to check out my comic book, DangerSquad.com. Some big announcements getting ready to come out here. I have a distributor, and we'll keep it at that, and more stuff coming at you as well. So very excited about all this information we get as well. And don't forget, let us know what you thought about the show, what you liked, what you didn't like, your own personal opinions and theories. We always want to hear that as well. Once again, guys, I have been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Boom.